finish Dynamite.
Yeah.
That was cool. Tay
Yes.
Conti and Paige Van Sant makes perfect sense.
100%.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm actually excited for that. It's a good first match for Paige Van Sant. They actually both know how to fight, so they build the match around that and no hoopla. I think this should be fine.
And Tay Conti just has superstar written all over her, so that I'm actually interested in that. And Tay Conti is like a competent wrestler too. Like, she's not the greatest in the world, but like, she's competent. So Paige Van Zandt's very new, so Tay Conti can kind of help her out and stuff like that. So, but with Brandy, like, Brandy's not that good.
Yeah,
Paige
it wouldn't have been
news,
about building
been
Paige Sant. It wouldn't have been about building Van Zandt. It just would have been about jerking off the Rhodes family. But and also, Tay Conti, although she's not the greatest psychologist in the world, the fact that she was so worried about Sammy, that added to the psychology of the match. She was great on ringside because she was like, oh shit, she's like reacting to everything.
Right.
Like, I thought, the night's main event was awesome. It was cool that Scorpio Sky won. That was awesome.
Yeah, and
I didn't expect that.
And you can like, this adds to a lot of things, right? I think Scorpio Sky, like, the writing was on the wall for him to win this, I think.
Yeah.
Long time coming. And now Wardlow.
All he had to do was wait for Cody to leave. Saying?
So Wardlow's gonna face him, and now MJF can cost Wardlow the match, and they can lead to MJF and Wardlow, which would be great business. So anyway, it's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Arriaga.
And today we're going to be recapping AEW Revolution 2022. I know last week I promised we'll talk about, Lesnar and a decade of his second run in WWE, but we're going to do that next week. And right now, I really want to talk about just Evolution. So, Smiley, you start, pick a match that you kind of want to discuss from the show.
Well, I guess the first one we saw was Kingston and Jericho. That was really good. It was like very like classic, like Japanese style match. Obviously, Eddie Kingston is a huge fan of Misawa and Kawada. All the pillars. Sorry, I was drinking ginger ale. All the pillars of like Noah,
All Japan.
His inspiration. Yeah, All Japan. Sorry about that. His influences come from there. So like all of that came out in this match. It was awesome. It was like straight to the point. None of like the hoopla that I usually dislike from a lot of Jericho's recent stuff. Like, it had none of that here. It was just like to the point. It was really good.
Yeah, and it adds to the story of the match. Kingston didn't want any mimosa, any dinner debonair. He didn't want none of that. So it was interesting because Kingston also told Jericho, I want the Jericho that had the respect of one of my heroes, Tenryu. And I think it's great that he channeled the 90s All Japan pillars. He used the Kobashi's chops, Kawada's finish, and it was really good. And he's dressed as like, he used Misawa's colors in previous matches. I think the match against Moxley had a full gear.
Moxley that he used the green, like, for Misawa.
Yeah. So
yes,
this
the
is a
yellow
really
and
good
black
match.
Like Kawada actually now. Like,
yeah,
normally it's like yellow and black for him.
Yeah, it was really good, and simple match, simple story, and the follow-up. Oh man, when Jericho didn't shake his hand, and then this promo, because we're recording this after the Dynamite, after Revolution, and it was just, man, I think that promo, the Eddie Kingston promo, has so much emotion, and it was just really good. And Jericho said he earned his respect, but then Jericho showed his colors as an asshole and everything, and then betrayed Santana Ortiz. I'm just glad the inner circle's gone, but that's another conversation for another day. So, two matches that I want to talk about first are the two women's matches, right? Let me explain, right? Jade Cargil, Tay Conti, TBS title, and Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, World Women's title. Now, these two matches, right? Especially with like Tay Conti and Jade Cargil. The match was very simple. It was right to the point. Number one, Jade Cargil is very new. She's still learning, but she's come a long way. But the thing is, a match with someone like her, who's a big killer, right? Doesn't need to be in there that long. Just get in there and get out. And that's exactly what they did. It was perfect. But Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, two more experienced wrestlers, went out there and tried to do the most, and it just kind of fell flat. And they were in a, I'm kind of conflicted about this, the whole thing. Like, okay, yes, they came right after MJF and CM Punk, which we'll talk about. Yes, it was a dead spot. However, I think this was a chance to just get in and get the fuck out. Tell a simple story. Don't try to out wrestle each other. I don't think just get in there and just tell a really simple story, because again, what we saw on Dynamite, there's going to be a cage match because Britt's friends keep running in and whatever, which is fine. But I think they could have just kept this match very simple, shave at least 5 minutes off of it. And I think they would have accomplished more in that regard. I don't know.
Well, I agree, because like the thing is, well, specifically, I did like take Conti and Jade Cargil. Like it was like to the point, and like it was, like you said, it was very like everyone did what they needed to do to get it over. The thing about with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa is that like what really stood out to me with this match was that like especially when they're doing the strike exchanges, it really came apparent to me, man, Britt Baker is not known for her offense. She's known for her personality. She's known for having tougher people beat up people for her. That's her character. She has Jamie Hayter. She's the tough person. She beats people up for her. When Thunder Rosa was throwing strikes, obviously she's like MMA trained, boxing trained, and stuff like that. Her strikes look great. Britt Baker's strikes don't look all that great. And when, they were trying, like, well, specifically, Britt was trying things that didn't necessarily look good. I think this, at least to me, this match would have came off better if Thunder Rosa was the one who was on offense and, beating the crap out of the cowardly heel, while Jamie Hayter or Rebel or Reba, distract or at least try to get in the way. And Britt Baker would get one over on Thunder Rosa, but instead they tried. I don't know. I guess it looked like they were going back and forth, and like I said, Thunder Rosa's offense looks great. Thunder Rosa is known for, she has a lot of personality, obviously, but she's also known for just being really good in the ring. Britt Baker is known for her personality, at least to me. So like, I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of Britt's offense in this match. It kind of, some of it looked a little like, yikes.
They could have just kept it simple, shave 5 minutes off. And like you said, Thunder Rosa should just beat on her. And then Britt's friends get involved, distract Thunder Rosa. And then Britt Baker uses some very underlying tricks, maybe a low blow or something. Maybe, I don't know, brass knuckle. I don't know what the hell.
I'm very looking forward to their cage match, though. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but they could have kept that match simpler. But anyway, So, what else you
got? Let's see. Well, for this match, or for what else in the card?
Yeah, pick another match from the card that you want to talk about.
We're
not gonna go through the whole card.
The main event. Yeah. I did like the main event. Like it was a good match, and I feel bad for saying this, but man, I know it's the world title match, but man, after that CM Punk and MJF match, okay, Danielson and Moxley was great. Danielson and Moxley was really dope because there's another match that was to the point. They beat the crap out of each other and blooded each other. But one thing I didn't expect, and I'm really happy happened, was William Regal showing up afterwards. And at first, like, wait, what is he going to be like an official in AEW? But then I don't know why I didn't get this. Like, when we got home, it clicked to me. Wait a minute. He's going to be the freaking manager. Oh my, that's and I love the promo that William Regal cut tonight. But, regarding Revolution, man, I really liked Moxley and Danielson. Like I said, it's another match. Even though I like this match more than Page and Cole, more than the Adams match, man, as much as I love Danielson and Moxley, that should have went before Punk and MJF. Punk and MJF was the main event to me, because my God, that match was freaking awesome. Like, I don't remember every move they did, which because it didn't matter. The story they told and that they beat the ever living crap out of each other. And even though I'm not the most familiar with CM Punk's Ring of Honor career, I thought it was really cool how he came out to his old Ring of Honor entrance, because he told MJF, if you want the old CM Punk, like, pretty much it, a more threatening version of Jeff Jarrett saying, you wanted the real CM Punk? Well, you got him. You got ROH CM Punk. And
you got him. Yep.
Man,
you see,
that was so cool.
Yeah, I want to touch on the dog collar match, but I do want to touch on Danielson and Moxley too, because they told a great story, right? Because again, pro wrestling is all about telling a story, but you don't have to tell the same story, but you tell a story that's interesting, right? And there's a lot of different types of matches that warranted different kinds of storytelling. So for this match, Danielson wanted to team with Moxley. Moxley was like, listen, I'm not going to team with nobody unless we bleed together. And what do? They fucking bled. And what was Bryan Danielson's whole thing in the last few weeks? He wants to teach people about violence. And This is how you have so many stars on your hands. First of all, when these two started, you know what the crowd was chanting? We want violence. I have never heard that. I haven't heard that from, they said, we want violence.
I don't remember that.
I was like, yo, they got him.
That's cool.
They got him. I'm like, you don't really see that kind of stuff anymore on like on a big platform. I'm like, wow. So people really want professional wrestling. Like, it's just crazy.
It's almost as if violence makes professional wrestling entertaining and not the flips that you do.
No, like, look, I don't mind. Flips are cool, right? Flips are cool. Again, whatever, it's all about storytelling, whatever story you're trying to tell. But in this case, it was about violence. And that's what they gave us. And these men were bloodied. And then Regal comes in. Oh, forget it. It's a must see. Wow. Just like after, what's funny? Like when this show was over, I was like, okay, the show was long again, another 4-hour show. But I felt like I got my money's worth. I was like, oh my God, so much happened. This happened and that happened. I'm like, wow. But okay, so let's talk about the world title match, right? Adam Cole and Hangman. Great. Two Adams have a long history with each other, and it was a great match. I loved it. Yes. A lot of people, including myself, okay, the world title was not exactly the most anticipated match on this card. Now, that is not
it was going to happen.
Right. To me, I'm a glass half full kind of person, right? So I think it's because, one, it's not like people weren't looking forward to that. There's just a lot of star power in AEW. And this card had a lot of star power. Moxley, Danielson. You had the Young Bucks on the card. You had Hangman himself, Adam Cole himself, and of course, MJF and CM Punk, who is arguably the biggest star they got now. But I will say this. I'm glad that Hangman and Adam Cole was the main event. Because if you look at CM Punk in AEW, he has yet to main event a pay-per-view. All Out, he didn't main event with Darby. Full Gear, he didn't main event against Kingston. And now we're at Revolution, and he didn't main event. But he did win all those matches. Now, since he won, and he said he's wanted the world title, right? And all of the AEW pay-per-views, what's the main event? The world freaking title. So CM Punk has earned something, right? He has earned, to me, to everybody, the main event. You are the biggest star in the company, and you've won all your pay-per-view matches. You've yet to main event the show. To me, if MJF and CM Punk main event the show, what do you have to work for now? You already are the main event. You know what I mean? Like, if you won all those matches, you won a big, brutal dark collar match. Now, the one thing you haven't done yet, you haven't main evented an AEW pay-per-view for the World Championship. there is something for you to obtain. There's something for us to get behind CM Punk to, there's another goal for him to achieve. I don't know. That's my thing.
No, I agree. Because here's the thing: when I said that, maybe CM Punk probably should have been the main event instead of Adam Cole and Adam Page. That, I guess, I was trying to say that maybe since CM Punk is the biggest star in the company, I like Adam Page, but I kind of feel like he's keeping that title warm for Punk.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And that's not anything against Hangman, because Hangman.
It's not. I love the guy. I do. He's great. But
yeah.
His title reign was being built, right? Okay, they were building for Hangman to win the title. But then CM Punk and Bryan Danielson came into the company. So I was like, ooh, man. Oh, that's right. Oh, wait, where's Adam Page? Oh, yeah, Adam Page is, he's going to get the title, right? But the thing is, like, when CM Punk and Danielson came into the company, I'm like, oh, shit. You got real big stars now. It doesn't mean Adam Page isn't a star, but.
Of course not. And man. If Adam Page goes to war with CM Punk, look, Page he went to war with Bryan Danielson. Hangman has credibility. He has tons of credibility. If he goes to war with CM Punk and loses, he's not going to be a geek, right? He's not. He's going to get a lot of respect, and he's gonna to me, he's gonna get to that next level, because again, you're the champion, but this is your first time in like a main event kind of pool. So I'm interested to see where all this is going to go. But I definitely want to talk about the dark color match, right? So you've brought it up, so let's just talk about it. I think this was a masterclass in storytelling. This is how to do a blow-off blood program. This was old school wrestling. That's what they established, because this was like a callback to Greg Valentine and Piper from Starrcade, the first Starrcade, their famous dark color match. And MJF's whole thing is that he is very old school and he studies tape, and he was a fan of CM Punk. It's just there's so many layers to it, and it was just so well executed. And again, MJF's whole thing is, CM Punk, you're not what you used to be. You're PG Punk. And then CM Punk's like, yeah, you want that old CM Punk? Be careful what you wish for, homie. Look what we got. Oh, it was brilliant. It was just brilliant.
Oh, no, like I've criticized older AEW feuds for, starting a feud with a War Games match and then like building to a normal one-on-one match. But this, it started like everything. It kind of it was like an onion. Everything, the layers were peeled back.
It was traditional. It was old school, and that's another. It's not the only way to do it, but it's a way to do it, and they knocked it out of the park. It was a home run. It was just unbelievable, and again, it also furthers the storyline between MJF and Wardlow. A lot of layers, and there's a lot of I like this kind of stuff that we can talk about here. A lot of like, we're not like armchair booking, right? Like we're just
things that make sense.
Yeah, we're talking about things that have been established on the show, because I feel like a lot of times when we talk about certain things in wrestling today, it's like, I don't want to put WWE on the bus, but with WWE, it's like a lot of the stuff we talk about is like what could happen.
Under the bus. It's fine.
This could happen, but this may happen. We're analyzing things that actually have been established, and you know what I mean. It's really nuanced and it's very interesting. So yeah, the dark color match was just a war, and man, just go out of your way to watch it. If they still have the replay, if you haven't seen it, it's worth the $49.99. Even though just make sure you take carve out 4 hours in your day. All right.
You just skip to the dark color match.
But you just pick and choose some it's a good show. Yeah, some things you could skip. Yeah, but if you got 4 hours to kill, why not? But anyway, any other match you want to discuss?
I had to think. I gotta. What else was on the card? The triple threat tag match, I didn't really care for because it was just. I'm sorry. Look, listen, and like I kind of that's how I feel about the Young Bucks. Look, they're great wrestlers. They do the Meltzer driver is a great finish. But the thing is, and I was watching Dynamite tonight. Like, I get that there's drama going on with Red Dragon and the Bucks and Adam. To me, at least, compared to like all the other drama going on, like with Kingston and Jericho, and with Wardlow and MJF, compared to those things, all the drama with the Young Bucks and Red Dragon and Adam, it just feels, maybe I'm being too harsh. It just feels kind of like, like Drake and Josh, like, oh, you're being mean to me. No, they're being mean. Adam Cole's like, guys, can we stop arguing, please? Like, it comes across like schoolyard shit compared to the other cool stuff that's going on in the show. I don't know. It's hard to take, and like mainly like with the Young Bucks, it's hard to take them seriously. So sometimes, because like, they when they try to come off a certain way, they to me they kind of come off goofy, like like very like haha, that's just me though.
I think I think with if they're gonna do this right, there needs to be a little bit of an edge to this. And again, the one thing I appreciate about the Young Bucks is, I'm gonna say this very lightly, the best way as I can, is that they know how to, like, they don't take themselves too seriously. But I don't mean like, they're a bunch of loser geek dorks. What I'm saying is they know how to, like, have a little fun and crack some jokes. However, I think that if they're going where I think they're going with this Red Dragon and Bucks thing, I think again there needs to be a little bit of an edge there, but we'll see how it plays out on TV. And also, I will say this about that the triple threat match. I thought, again, that match, this was like, I think, part of the story of the pay-per-view. There was a lot of matches where guys were playing to their strengths. That's what they were doing with the Bucks in the triple threat match. They were doing what everybody was doing, what they were good at, what got them to the dance. And that's what I loved about it. There was a lot of spots, but a lot of spots done very well. Like, do what you're good at, okay? We were talking about Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, and they're not the only ones that are guilty of this, but like, I don't think they played to their strengths. They just did the most for nothing. The Bucks are known for doing outlandish stuff, and they did it, and it was great. I don't know. But
no, but like, that's what I'm saying is, like, they're good. Like, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, their strengths are like in ring. They do a lot of cool stuff. It's Nick Jackson, especially. Nick Jackson is awesome. Like, watching him in the ring is great. But when they're in like a storyline and they try to like, like, they don't take themselves too seriously. But to me, like, they don't take themselves seriously at all. Like, to me, like, at least like you saw in Dynamite, that skit, it just came off so, and I'm saying skit, like, it just came off so goofy. It's just like, oh, like, Adam is like, oh, I'm picking Red Dragon over you, and then they're walking away, and like, you're like, shut up, and like Brandon Cutler's behind the camera, and they're like, oh, shut up, Brandon, and then you hear like Kyle O'Reilly go, we heard that, Brandon. Like, it's so like Nickelodeon. It's like, like, I just got off watching Wardlow cut a great promo, a really good, like, this guy, like, I can take him. I believe Wardlow wants to win every belt. I don't believe the Young Bucks when they're like, it's like school. It's like look, if we're watching Drake and Josh, they would be great villains because that's the kind of tone that they set. To me, at least, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard. Some people, like, I don't know. Like I said, in ring they're awesome, but it's just like when as like personalities, to me, I don't take them that seriously. That's like the only probably. I know we're supposed to talk about that triple threat tag match, but it's just that's all I can think about.
Yeah. Sure. Fine. I will say this though. When Jay White debuted, right? Jay White was great. But I think before Jay White got into the picture, it was Rocky Romero. I think it was Rocky Romero by himself.
No, it was Rocky Romero. No, he
and Trent Beretta, right?
By himself.
Okay, and then the Bucks jumped him, and then Matt Jackson looked into the camera, said, "For those of you watching at home, and I say this with me, BT trigger, lame, very lame."
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
I
about.
like that at all. But when Jay White walked in,
they do that a lot. They do that a lot.
Yeah, when Jay White walked in, I was like, "Oh wow!" And he, like, this guy looked like a threat. But yeah, like, they need a little bit more of an edge to their on-screen persona. Even though I was thoroughly entertained with with their whole thing. But yes, I do think, yeah. Okay, so here's one thing. We talked about this for when we wrapped up Full Gear and the length of the show, right? It was about 4 hours and change, and this show was close to 4 hours. We were exhausted after. So did you feel like, yeah, maybe they could have taken off a match or two or shaved a few, took some time off some of the matches?
I think they could have took some matches off and added more time, or added certain time to matches that needed it, or just honestly, yeah, like they could have cut off some like 1 or 2 matches, to be honest with you, maybe 3.
Yeah, you know what? I would have cut off I liked the tornado tag between Sting, Darby, Sammy, and the HFO. I think they could have put that on as like a Dynamite main event or a Rampage main event. They could have took this. We didn't need to. This show did not need to go 4 hours.
No, it didn't. It did not.
They should have taken off like at least 5 minutes from the women's tag match, because you're coming off the crazy dog collar match. You're coming off of that. It's gonna die either way. You're gonna die either way. So that's like wrestling after. It's not the same thing, but it's like maybe in a similar pool, like Hogan and The Rock. At WrestleMania 18, like no one's following that. Whoever is after that is already dead. So you gotta get in and get the fuck out. So yeah, but again, the length, yeah, they not all like, okay, I can understand all Double or Nothing. Like this year, this is the first time they're gonna be back in Vegas since the first Double or Nothing. So if you go a little bit long, I can understand completely. But for Revolution, you could have taken off at least 1 or 2 matches. That's me.
Off a whole hour, to be honest.
You could have shaved off a whole
hour.
Yeah, and I think that's safe. But overall, I really enjoyed this show. I liked it better than last year's though. But this show was really good. It was a great show. When it was done, I was like, whoa, a lot of interesting shit happened. I don't know. I thought it was really good. What'd you think?
I thought the show was great. Like, despite despite certain things, like, and they could have shaved off like a good amount of time. Like, the show was awesome. At no point, listen, we sat through 4-hour pay-per-views before that. We were like, oh my, by the second hour mark, we were like, geez Louise. I'm like, and like, there's 2 more hours left. This show did not feel like that. Like, it didn't. Like, for the most part, it was awesome. Like, so that's why the parts that were like, yikes, were so apparent, because everything else was pretty great. Like, and like, regarding what you said about like, in terms of going on, like being in a dead spot, like, you remember like that year in SummerSlam when AJ Styles wrestled John Cena, mind you, there was no belts involved in that match. After that match, which was awesome, poor Jon Moxley, who was the WWE champion, had to follow that up by wrestling Dolph Ziggler.
And the match died.
What the hell? Yeah, what the hell do you think was going to happen?
First of all, and you know what's also interesting? Not only did that match die, not only was that match going to die, it was for the WWE Championship, and it was for a match that nobody wanted to see. But that's a whole nother bag of worms.
It's just an example of like,
yes,
being in a
I understand.
spot. Or like the poor, whatever poor pricks had to go on after Shawn Michaels and Undertaker in WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's probably Kid Rock. Who knows? But anyway, but again, with the dead spot, like, okay, Jim Ross said to Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was mad that him and Rey Mysterio went on first WrestleMania 21. Jim Ross told Eddie, listen, you guys go out there, make sure, like, I'm paraphrasing, make sure you guys be the match that people want to follow. Set the example. And Eddie Guerrero's like, you're right. And what do you know? Like, that match was one of the best matches on that. It's Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. Like, come on. But yes, if you have 2 stars going at it and killing each other, whoever's coming after is going to suffer. But anyway, this is a great show. Go out of your way to watch it if you haven't seen it yet. And we're going to wrap it up today on the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Arriaga.
And next week, we're talking Lesnar. 10 years of his second run in WWE. Make sure you can follow us on the socials at the Wrestling Caucus, Instagram, at Wrestling Caucus, Twitter. And if you're still on Facebook, facebook.com/the Wrestling Caucus. Peace out. Later days and all that good stuff.